In this video, we're going to show you how to post items from a cash receipts journal. This will complement Chapter 10, as well as, if you're not in Chapter 10, this is using special journals for a merchandising business. So as you can see, we have our cash receipts journal here. We filled out the transactions correctly. Our first step in posting items found in a cash receipts journal is we need to post all the individual amounts to accounts receivable, subsidiary, account ledgers, as well as the debits and credits. Let's simplify it. You got to put those first three columns, if there's something in those first three columns, we have to post that individually. So in this case, we just have two. We have the Paulson Medical and we have the Mason College. And the posting process is still the same as it always has been. So we're going to do the Paulson Medical for your example here. And we know that 1547 is a credit, and how we know that it's a credit because we see the account, the special amount column says that it's an accounts receivable credit. So it's a 1547 credit. Think about it, it's accounts receivable. They don't owe us as much money, if we think of it that way too, and it's decreasing. So we pull up the accounts receivable subsidiary ledger for Paulson Medical, and you can see there's that balance of $37.19. So we just basically post it the same way. The date of the transaction, which was the 6th, we put that there. This came from Cash Receipts Journal page 11, or CR 11, which we'll use. And again, that's different from when we just did the service business where we did 11. You need to make sure that it's CR 11 since we are using 5 different types of journals. Then we take that 1547.15, which is a credit, and we know it's a credit because it is described as a credit in the account title, on the title of the account column. So we take that credit of 1547. Now, if you think about this, we have a debit balance and a credit entry. They are different. Since they are different, we have to find the difference, which means subtraction. So and if you think about it, they don't owe us as much money. They're paying us money. It's a cash receipts journal where we received cash. They don't owe us as much money. So we're going to take the $37.19 and lower it from the credit of minus the $1547.15, and we get a debit balance of $2174.94. Well, why is it a debit balance? Well, because it's an accounts receivable subsidiary account. Accounts receivable is an asset account, sits on the left-hand side of the accounting equation. Since it sits on the left-hand side of the accounting equation, it has a normal balance of a debit. And if you think about it, you can't have a negative accounts receivable. I mean, I suppose you could, but it's not really good practice. So that's why you have that debit balance there of $2174. Final step that a lot of students forget is we're going to take that account number and put our bookmark back up in that column and put that 140. We would complete this process then for Mason College. Now notice the check marks, we don't have, they're already there because we don't have anything in those first 3 columns, so we do not need to post those individually. So then it will look like this, our cash receipts journal. Then our next step is we need to total up all the columns. So we'll total up all of our columns, because these are the amounts that we are ultimately going to be posting next. So then under the first 2, under the general debit and credit, we're going to put check marks. And the reason we put check marks, that just basically signifies that anything in these has already been posted individually and we don't need to post the column totals. Think of it as 2 dashes on a job application. Next step that we're going to do, so we're basically done with these first 3 columns. So basically the next step then is we are going to take our accounts receivable credit column, and we are now going to post it to the controlling ledger of the accounts receivable. So this is that column total there. So we're going to take that column total and we're going to post it. Well, the date that we added it up was the 30th. This is coming from Cash Receipts, page 11, CR 11. It's a 2226.34 credit. I know it's a credit because the yellow box that's highlighted says that it's an accounts receivable credit and explains it to me. So I bring it down as a credit. I have a debit balance with a credit entry. They're different. So since they're different, I need to find the difference. And when I find the difference, I'm going to subtract, and I get that number, 19,240.35. Last step in this is in parentheses. I'm going to take that 1130. I'm going to put it my bookmark, what I like to call, back underneath it, and the parentheses 1130. Now it's important to put the parentheses underneath there because if you do not, it will read as if you are. Our column total is 1,130, and that is not the correct one. It needs to be in the parentheses for proper posting. We continue our journey along our cash receipts posting journal, and we are now going to total up the sales column. We're going to post the column total of the sales credit column. Again, we take that 6420. The date that we totaled it up was the 30th. This came from cash receipts, page 11. This 6420 is a credit because if you look in the yellow box, it says that it is a sales credit. 6420, we have a credit balance with a credit entry. They are the same. Since they are the same, we are going to find the sum and add them up, ring them up, $211,804.26. And my final step is to put my bookmark back up underneath the column total of the sales credit so I know that I posted in case I happen to get distracted and leave off. And I do a parentheses 4110. Again, put it in the parentheses. If you don't, you get it will be read as a column total, and that will give you a massive headache. Continuing along to our sixth step, we go here, we have our sales tax payable, again following the same process here. Sales tax payable credit is what this is, so we need to pull up the sales tax payable ledger. That $385.20 is a credit because the yellow box tells me it is, and so I'm going to take that 30, which is the date of we totaled it up. My post reference is cash receipts journal page 11. I have a $385.20 credit, so I'm going to put that there. I have a credit balance and a credit entry. So therefore, since I have a credit balance and a credit entry, I'm going to find the sum because they are the same. I'm going to add them up, and then I'm going to take my parentheses and put my 2120 back underneath there to remind myself that, yep, I have already done this and successfully posted this, and my bookmark is there. Continuing on, second verse, same as the first, and just a little more rehearsed, or something like that. So we take my sales discount debit. Now I'm going to be posting that column total. And again, we're going to take that 4452. The date comes on the 30th. Okay. We post reference is CR11. Now this is a 4452 debit because in the yellow box, it says that it's a debit in there. So I'm going to debit that to 4452. I have a debit balance of 418.19 and I have a debit entry. They are the same. Since they're the same, I'm going to find the sum, I'm going to add them up and put them there. My last step then is to put my bookmark back underneath the sales discount debit column in parentheses at 4120. Finally, what we're going to do is we are going to post our cash debit column. And in my cash debit column, what we're going to do is I'm going to take that 89.87. Now, if you notice right here in my slides, I went a little bit out of order. I think my animation, I forgot it. So don't do it the way I did it, but you do the 30, same process as before, CR11. That 89.8702 is a debit because the column total tells me it's a debit. I add it up, ring it up. Then finally, I take my 1110. Don't put the parentheses 1110 in there until the last possible step. My animation didn't work as well as I planned. And that's it. So that's how you post all items. That's how you successfully post items in a cash receipts journal. Hope this helps. If this video did help, please like it. If you enjoy these videos, please follow our channel, or yes, so something like that. Click like, share. I got to think of something unique. Thank you, and best of luck.